I bought my first ever broken PS5 Slim from eBay. Let's get it plugged in and see what's going on, and then we'll see if we can fix it. This video is sponsored by iFixit. More on them in a minute. Good. The seller said the screen randomly goes black and it has artifacts. They also said in the eBay listing that they already replaced the HDMI port and it still doesn't work. So we got to figure out whether there's something else going on or whether they just didn't do a good enough job replacing the HDMI port. Oh, and we had a black screen there for a second. Okay, I'm pulling up on the cable. Let's move down. Okay, we still got a blue light, so we got to wait for the light to turn white, which it is white right now. And now we get nothing. So the screen did flash black a couple times, but we just never got anything at all. I think it's time to take this thing apart and see what's going on the inside. Now, it's been a while since I've taken one of these apart. I have to remember, oh, there we go. I have to remember how to take it apart. There we go. Pull up on this corner and then slide out that way. Probably the same here. Yep, same thing. And then here, yep, similar. Okay, this looks really clean inside. I mean, I got to get down to the board, but whoever did the HDMI replacement on this did a really good job. There's all the screws are here. I mean, at least so far, everything looks really good. Now, I did pay a decent amount of money for this. I paid like $260, which isn't too bad if it's an easy fix, but obviously if it's not an easy fix, then that's not a very good deal. When you're pulling up on these, pull up on the white part of the connector. Don't pull on the black part. That's attached to the motherboard, and you will easily tear it off the board, and then you'll have to learn how to solder in order to put it back. Now to remove the disk drive, we'll just pull up back here and then slide it back that way. This is the connector for the disk drive, and it just connects right down there on the board. The warranty sticker has been removed, so somebody indeed has been in this. Like I said, it does look pretty good though. It will be also interesting to see how the liquid metal on this thing looks. I don't know if the Slims have the same issue as the original PS5 where they get the dry spot on the APU, and this one probably won't be the best one to test that since it has been opened, but we'll still check it out. And there we go. I'm just leaving the screws in their holes, and I'm going to set this aside just like it is. So then when I go to put it back on, I just have to line up the screws in the holes and then put it down in there, and then I don't have to keep track of those screws. And again, so far so good. No missing screws I see here, so that's great. All right, and now those screws are all out. Everything was looking good so far. Okay, our first look at the board. The top side looks good. I'm not convinced that HDMI port has been replaced, and I think I maybe already see a missing component. But we got to get this out and have a look at the other side. All right, let's have a look at that liquid metal. Oh, and that looks great. No problems at all there. Nice big puddle of it. There's a little bit right here, but it hasn't significantly leaked, which I wouldn't expect. They generally don't unless you drop it or something like that. So that's all looking good. Let's get under a microscope and have a look at this HDMI port. iFixit is a great place to get soldering tools, equipment, and consumables, whether you're a beginner or a pro. The soldering splint is one of iFixit's newest soldering tools. So we have this wire right here that we broke and we want to fix it. So I'm going to slide the wire down inside the jaws, right about there. And then this end has a connector on it. So I'm going to slide this end down here, and I'm just going to adjust it so it matches up nicely with this other wire right about there. And now I'm just going to add some flux to the wires. The flux just helps the solder flow. I am going to be using this fume extractor. We don't want to be breathing in any of these fumes. Now I have my soldering iron right here, and I have some solder loaded up on the iron. So I'm just going to solder those two wires together just like that. And now they are soldered together very solidly, and the repair is complete. This is just one example of the soldering tools that iFixit carries. They also offer tons of other soldering tools and supplies. You can check them out at ifixit.com/TronicsFix, and I'll put a link right in the description. Let's get under a microscope and have a look at this HDMI port. Okay, and really not too bad of a job overall. But I can immediately see one of the main problems here, and that's this first pin right over here. It's not soldered down. They did a really good job of soldering this port in. If this is indeed a new port, these mounting pins look really good. So overall, I mean, it looks really good, but all the rest of these pins are fine. This is gonna be crazy if this is the only thing that's wrong with this. Just gonna put a little bit of flux over here. That's plenty. Gonna bring my soldering pencil over. I do just have a tiny bit of solder on it. This is one of the easiest pins to solder too. It's right on the edge where there's plenty of room. Of course I bridged the pins. Okay, so I'm actually going to use my larger iron because that one is taking a lot of heat. Oh, there we go. That was quick and easy. Now let's recheck that pin. Yep, nice and strong. And I'm just going to recheck the others real quick. I want to make sure I don't miss anything. Okay, and we're all good. This capacitor right here is the one that a lot of times people knock off when they're doing this HDMI port replacement job. This one is still there. It's there and nice and solid. We've got this one right here, which is also nice and solid. But let's look at the other side. That's where I thought maybe I saw something that was missing. And right here is what I was like, maybe there's something missing there, but there's not actually a component that goes right there. So we're all good on this backside too, so I feel good about that. I don't think there's anything else we need to inspect on this board, so let's just start getting this thing put back together. I wanted to make sure that I was remembering what the description of this PS5 said from eBay, and so I pulled it up, and it says, great condition PS5 Slim, blah, 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 boots perfectly, broken warranty seal, replaced HDMI. So that is what happened with this one. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing something. Let's get this thing put back together and see what happens. The other thing I want to do with this is try and install a brand new disk drive into this and just see what happens. I did do a video checking whether we could swap the disk drives in these, and everything worked fine when they first came out. I don't know if that's still the case, whether they've updated the software so it doesn't work, or whether everything still works. So we'll do that once we make sure this thing's working. There we go. Now we need to put all of these totally necessary screws in. Now the mid frame and then the disk drive. Now this is the original disk drive that I'm putting in. I want to make sure this one works before I try to replace it. Once we have this all together and tested, make sure everything's working, then I'll replace this with a brand new one. Come on! We already got it! Black screen. The PS logo, we've got the safety thing coming up. Wiggling the cable with no artifacts, no nothing. Okay, disc is going in. Let's see if it plays. It's up on the screen. I can hear it spinning, good. And there we go. Okay, so this disk drive is working. Let's get the disk out and replace the drive and see what happens. And here I have a brand new sealed PlayStation 5 disk drive. Okay, we have the plate and we have the disk drive. And of course we have the instruction manual. Won't be needing that. And I'll mark this as the replacement. Now we'll pull up back here. Pull up back here. There we go. These are really easy to replace. I love that they made these kind of user replaceable. All right, let's turn it back on and see what it does. All right, here we go. Okay, here we go. Repairing console storage. I'm not sure why I did that. Okay, and starting up, everything looking good. Oh yeah, I turned the PS5 off improperly. Let's see if it notices it has a new disk drive in it. Updating your disk drive, okay. Your disk drive is connected to your PS5. To use your disk drive, register it to your PS5, okay. Can't use your disk drive, you need to connect your PS5 to the network, okay. That is what I remember, is you have to be online in order to be able to replace your disk drive. So we'll get hooked up online and then see what it does. Okay, we're connected online, and it hasn't given me any errors or anything like that. So let's put this Hot Wheels disc back in and see what it does. Oh, no power at all. Apparently, we do need to register it. So when we go to System Feature Updates, it says to update some of the system features, I need to restart. So we're gonna restart and install. Okay, we're gonna see if we'll be able to register now. Registering your disk drive. Okay, and now it says we can use it. Well, let's find out if that's true. All right, it's taking the disk in. And there we go, it's now copying the disk. So this was a super easy PS5 Slim fix, just that one pin that needed to be resoldered. It just goes to show how one tiny little misstep in a repair can cause the whole thing to basically not work. If you like this type of video and want to see a video where I tried to fix a PlayStation 5 that I bought for only $100, I'll put a link for that video up on your screen now so you can come hang out with me over there and see if I was able to fix that one. Don't forget to go to ifixit.com/TronicsFix. Thanks so much for watching today, and I hope you have a good one.